Good afternoon. I'm Vinita from Pre-Publish. Welcome to today's Pre-Publish podcast series for the youth. Today we are in conversation with Ravindra Sharma, who has written a beautiful novel, and not just a writer. He's a student in St. Joseph University, Bangalore. Apart from this, he has great knowledge of Sanskrit and Vedas. So over to you, Ravindra. Please introduce yourself to the viewers, and if you can give some, interesting tips about your book.
Uh, Firstly, I'm Ravindra. I'm currently pursuing second year BSc uh, in St. Joseph's University. So, my hobbies. So, I'm just giving an interview. Like, my hobbies are like I study a lot of mythology. Uh, from my childhood, I'm fascinated in mythology and the science. I'm very much interested in the science behind our mythological text, as in Vedas and Puranas. We study, we heard in from our childhood. There is a lot of science in that. So I'm more into debugging those science in the, and I am into collaborating this two contrast things. That is, one is science and the mythology. So this is my main fascination in my life, you can say. So this book, The Epiphanic Exams, is, I think this is one of the important stories we have to study, as this shows uh, how this generation of students or this generation is lacking in their self confidence. Just with one or two failures in their life, they lose all the hopes in the life. So I hope this helps and motivates this generation to lead their life in a successful path.
Wonderful. I could read the gist of the novel that you had sent me, and the most interesting part was that the title of the book that you have selected. That was very much interesting. And that made me feel that you have also chosen characters like from a mythology Vishwamitra, and you have given a very different structure to your story, right? So, how did you get this whole idea of blending, a character from mythology and to the modern world? So, what made you come up with this idea?
Uh, Firstly, when I saw this brochure of National Book Writing Fest, so I didn't had any plan to write it. But once I asked my friend to write, and this was the story I had in my mind from past 2 to 3 years. Like, I had no idea of writing any book, but I was fascinated in reading the books. But this was one of the story I only heard but never read. So I thought I should write this. So and also I took two characters of a grandfather and a
Nice.
granddaughter. So this is something like this generation needs those kind of characters of grandfather, where nowadays all the parents are busy in their work, not telling those stories which they heard from their parents and their grandparents. They're not passing on to this generation. So I think everyone would relate with the granddaughter, that is Mahi's character, and hear the story as their grandparent is saying that. So this was my basic idea to say that, and it was more apt as I didn't include too much of mythology also, like not the technical terms of mythology. It's very common language. So I hope everyone would understand, and I wanted everyone to connect also. So this was my basic idea to bring the story in this structure.
Amazing. The theme goes and it revolves, the ideas revolves around humility, self-growth, which is, I think, very much needed for the coming generation. So tell me, Ravindra, like you shared a very valid point that, you were a reader, more of a leader of books. And then you thought of writing. So what was the transition? One, what were the benefits? Were there any benefits that you felt writing gave you? And what was your experience from from reader to writer?
First of all, while I was reading, I didn't thought of second chance, like what would happen if this not happened. So I had no option of that. But while I was writing this, I got to know, like, if not this, what would have happened? What would be the next step? Like, not no, if not today, if what else would have happened? So I got to know the variety of decisions I can make in a story. So this is something already present in the world, so I couldn't change anything. But if I'm writing completely of my fiction, so completely of my made up story, so I now know how to bring multiple characters and how to balance multiple characters now. So also I can think on wider decisions that what a character can make, and also I can easily judge a character now based upon their actions.
Very, very interesting. So tell me, was it simple for you to write, or did you face any challenges? If you did face any challenges, what kind of challenges? What was the nature of the challenges?
Uh, yeah, I had some difficulty in writing because of the language. So I mean, see, because if I go too much technical terms, people would not understand, and if I go very lame language, it is not sufficient for the story. It's not adaptable for the story, and some expressions, what we say, it's not present in the language. So we cannot express everything in the language, but I was supposed to search for those words. Sometimes I used multiple dictionaries and multiple websites for those, and it was very much difficult to express the atmosphere around the story, like setting up the story. It was the most difficult task I had, but rather than that, all the story was fixed in my mind.
Okay. So, you have picked up this title. Was there any thing in your mind, because the story is about gaining wisdom, right? It is to understand through the wisdom of the ancient era, and which you are saying, of course, is missing because we hardly connect with people, we hardly talk, share. So tell me that when you were looking for a title, so did you write your story and decided for a title of the book, or the title was there and then you decide your story? How did
The
it
title
work?
part was the last.
Okay,
So
and what made
in
you
the
pick
time
up?
of publishing only, I decided the title,
Okay,
because I didn't had anything in my mind for the title. I was just going on with the story. I had no option of title at all. So it was, I wanted something people would find it catchy.
of
So
course it
mainly,
is. Yeah. It's
and
catchy and
also,
it's like it make you think that
yeah,
uh,
something we have to think about. So
yes,
this
yes.
was something apt to the story also.
Absolutely. When I also read the title, I was like thinking, what kind of a book it's going to be, So, of course, I think that really worked. So, tell me your experience of, writing over publish. What was the experience? Do you think writing is easy now after, writing a novel?
As I said earlier, I was not into writing anything. So pre-publish gave me a chance to bring out myself as a writer. So even writing the books was not difficult. So pre-publish website helped a lot in writing, in editing also. So even the grammatical mistakes what I was doing with unknowingly, it was also correcting them. So I learned language very much. So it was a great experience to publish on republish. So I had a excellent experience. So I now want to write more and more books. So
Wonderful.
being a complete reader to transforming into a writer is a great experience.
That's so lovely. Do you have any message for your readers, when they're picking up your book, or how they can, or also for, students who would want to start writing, aspire to be writers? Do you have any message for them?
So, firstly, to my readers, I say don't think it as a mythology, the book. Don't think it as a mythology or completely something related to religion. It's not about that. It's about the philosophy we have to follow in our life, which Vishwamitra had done. So he is not a person who is promoting religion or something else. He is someone who is teaching us the life. So I hope the readers would understand this bitterly, and to the young writers of my age or something, I hope they have to start writing, because only after the first page we can understand what are my mistakes, what are my negatives, and we can easily convert them into positives. It's not a big deal to write. Everyone can write a book or a story, but uh, the point is we have to start. That's all. And the dedication is more important. We should not get bored with the obstacles we face.
So, Ravindra, you have also shared that you have studied Sanskrit
Yeah.
and you have studied Vedas also. So, how did your learning of Vedas and multiple languages have shaped you up? Do you feel it's beneficial? Can you share something about that journey of yours?
Yeah, sure. Um, First of all, my childhood was mixture of this modern era and also the ancient era, can say, because I learned Vedas with modern education also. So what I was saying that it was very much in hand to hand in hand. Both Vedas and modern education was hand in hand. So I could easily relate both of them. So many people, what they do is they either learn only the modern education or only the Vedas. So they don't get the environment of other things. So I think by learning this both together helped me a lot to make these two things come in together. Like I said before, I'm very much interested in mixing both of them, science and Vedas or mythology. So this Vedas also gave me discipline in my life, because as everyone knows, it's difficult to learn Vedas, and dedication is the only way to learn them. Uh, so these way learning Vedas made me dedicated to any work I do in my life, and also to this book especially, because I almost wrote this for 2 months, and there were many obstacles to write this. So I was being bored, I was being distracted. So, but still, I thought something could happen after writing this. So I just dedicated myself to this book.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Ravindra, for sharing the insights and coming here for today's podcast. On this note, I will wrap up today's conversation with you and wish you good luck for your upcoming next book and this one also. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.